full bellies, maybe a little hungover, definitely a little tired. We got the great game. We got a good game. We got a good game, but we got answers. We got a little history, and we got 4 hours to knock it around. What's up, Teak?
All's good, man. We got the Rams doing what the Rams have been trying to do for the last 4 years, which is, I don't want to say buy a championship, but they're going all in any way possible to find a championship by bringing in any and every free agent. And we talked about Odell Beckham last week, BT. I feel so bad for him, man, going down the way he did. He did contribute, obviously, had a touchdown. You could tell he was emotional after the game, but the Rams get this thing done in a very unique way. Everybody wanted to know who was going to score the most. Like, was this going to go over the 48? And I think it was 48 and a half, whatever it was. This thing came down to defense. I mean, you never talk about it during the regular season, but the Rams defense absolutely shut down the Cincinnati Bengals in the second half. 6 sacks of those 7 were in the second half. Defense wins championships, man. That's what it came down to ultimately. I know Cooper Kupp won the MVP.
Yep.
And Matt Stafford, did what Matt Stafford was brought to the Rams to do, win a championship. But this defense is really what it was all about for the Rams.
Listen, I also think the referees had a little hand in this as well.
You
mean, come on.
You think?
Yeah, it bothers me. I mean, it alters history. Yeah. I mean, was that really a penalty, Wilson? I know the one at the pylon was certainly.
Yeah, Eli Apple. Eli Apple was definite. Penalty. That was obvious.
The one with Wilson, I don't know about that.
By the way,
it would have been 4th down.
4th and 8.
I mean,
that's right.
I don't know about that one, but it doesn't matter. And I was thinking about this too, Teak. So, we messed around last week, like, will the Jets get there in my lifetime? When will the Giants get back? And all that. And by the way, now, once we get past all this stuff today, we can actually start pushing this forward and go full throttle on our Jets and our Giants, which is what we're all looking forward to. And I was thinking about this right after the game, from the Bengals' point of view, who have never won a Super Bowl. I said to myself, and I don't know that I fully believe this. I don't think I do, and I'll tell you why. But there was a part of me saying, I'd almost rather not reach the Super Bowl than to lose in the manner in which they lost. If I'm a Bengals fan, on the final drive, you never won. You're right there. You're knocking on the door. Penalty you're never going to forget. Some other plays that obviously you will never forget. But I don't think that I actually would subscribe to that because at least, for 2 reasons. Number one, the walk-up to the Super Bowl is phenomenal. And you can't replicate. We would have been there. We'll be there if the Jets and the Giants, when they get there. You can't replicate that energy. So that's a lot of fun. The game day itself leading up to the game is incredible. But, if you get to a Super Bowl, then at least not that it guarantees success the next year, but you've got a good team.
Yes.
Which means you can take another swing the next year. But, if the Jets ever get there and that's how I lose, I'm going to need medical and mental intervention. I'm dead serious,
But they also still had a chance. We know, and we're talking about the penalties on their
medical intervention. Listen, definitely mental. I don't know if I'm going to be medical. I'll probably just sedate myself with something good. I was going to say,
alcoholic intervention.
Maybe a little more just alcohol.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of a game.
Look, the Bengals still had a shot, though.
No, well, that's what I'm saying.
They had a minute.
It's like torture.
Exactly. They had a minute and 20 seconds left. I honestly thought the game was going to go to overtime. Maybe they would have won it in regulation, the Cincinnati Bengals. But Joe Burrow is over there comfortable, confident. You could see him mouthing, it's all right. It's all right. We got this. It's all right. And he just knew it was going to happen until it didn't because Aaron Donald, had his way in that final drive, and ultimately they snuffed him out. It was the defense that came through. But, Joe Burrow and this Cincinnati Bengals team, they became the popular, I don't know, team
easy to root for.
Yeah, they became the popular team to root for. Leading up into the game, everybody had the Bengals, and even if it wasn't,
No, you mean everybody had the Bengals? Everybody on TV picked the Rams.
No. I mean, people that I talked to, everybody was like, "Oh, I want the Bengals to win."
Oh, they wanted them to win.
I'm not talking about
putting money
line
and
spread, even though the Bengals did cover.
I told you
but
that would.
Everybody wanted the Bengals. It was like the Bengals are the fun team because they're young. Joe Burrow's got this swagger about him. He wears he's crazy, outfit.
Got the suit.
Exactly. But, I mean, that's going to expire, by the way, at some point. At least I hope it will.
Yeah.
You can't lose if you have on that kind of suit. You know what I mean?
I think he handed it. You talking about when he walked into the stadium?
Yes.
I think he purposely handed up for the Super Bowl.
True.
It's California.
But then he loses, and after the game, he's got to wear that same suit.
That's true.
So
that's true. You should always bring maybe another one.
Yes.
Dress it down a little bit.
Bring a backup, just simple black jacket. But look, they're going to be back. They got a lot of money.
Are they going to be back?
Offensively, they're going to be great.
The defense, though.
Defensively, I mean, it leaves a lot, but they have money to fix it. You know what I mean? And they, not that they have draft picks, but they have money in free agency to fix it. I think they got really good coaches, Zach Taylor and then Lou Anarumo as well. So I think they're primed to get back. It's just really hard to get back.
I don't think they're getting back,
and especially with the division being as down as it was last. That's not happening next season. You know what I mean? I think the Ravens bounce back. Who knows with the Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh? I mean, maybe they are still having a lock on the division. But I think Cincinnati has a chance. I think the Rams are a team that might fall apart because everybody's talking about peacing out.
Mm-hmm. Donald saying I might retire. Yeah. McVay might go to TV. Dude. Who knows if Odell? What happened? Did he tear his ACL?
We don't have full clarity, but I mean, he didn't come back into the game.
No,
and it was immediate to the locker room. He comes back out in street clothes, and I mean, if it was anything less than an ACL, why would he not have played?
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So
he was ready for a big game.
He was.
They could not cover him.
No, he was the X factor, and the Bengals had no response for it. And then after he went out, the game changed in the Cincinnati Bengals' favor.
It did, Teak. 877-337-6666. You know, I wouldn't classify this as a great game. I like a little more offense. Yeah. It was a little bit too dry. And
it got static.
It did. It got a little it got stagnant. It wasn't it wasn't great, but at least, and again, as long as it's close, because you can make the case, not that we'll ever know, if Beckham stays healthy, this thing may have had, 33-14 written all over it. But back to how I think the overwhelming majority of people were rooting, not betting, or not, saying that they thought the Bengals would win, but hoping that they would. It was fairly organic in terms of the draft. It's a blue-collar city.
Yep.
They'd never won before. They certainly had my rooting interest. They also had my money. I loved it. By the way, dropped it. So the two remember the two prop bets I gave you?
Yes.
One of them came to fruition. This is why I didn't want overtime.
Yes.
Because the one bet that I gave you, the prop bet was, would the game be tied after the opening kick, after 0-0?
After 0-0.
And I actually won that one.
Yep.
I lost the other prop bet, the exotic bet, which was combination of points.
Oh, this was a cross-sport.
Cross-sport.
Yes.
Points, rebounds, and assists from Steph Curry compared to the largest the largest completion from Burrow. And obviously the first play of the third quarter, that kind of put that to rest. So I was 1-1 there, and I was 1-1 because I had the Bengals at +4 and I had the over, which I missed.
Yeah.
So I basically broke even. A little bit, not really break even. But listen, the thing though is, and we always talk about the quarterbacks, and you can't get away from this. I said it last week. You didn't necessarily disagree, with the exception of Eli Manning getting the second one, which then took away any doubt. Well, was he a little lucky? When you beat the Pats twice, when you get the MVP twice, you're guaranteed going to Canton when you got the other numbers, which Eli does. But, the thing that I was really leaning on going into this game was, with Stafford, if he played well and they won, it completely changes him perceptually. If he plays poorly and loses, how do we keep leaning on, well, Detroit held them down? Yeah. And there he is. It changes the way he's perceived. He's going to wind up in Canton someday.
He did exactly what he needed to do. Had a big day, made the plays when he needed to, and did the stretch. Yes, he did throw 2 interceptions. One was kind of like a punt, and because of Vernon Hargraves running on the field with no uniform on, they ended up being. It actually helped.
Flip-flops on.
Dude, it was ridiculous. Ended up helping him out. At least helping the LA Rams out, but. He played great when he had to, and that's all you can ask for from a quarterback who, in a lot of people's minds, is now Hall of Fame viable. Yeah, and I think they're right.
Yeah, I didn't love the first. I know we're going to bounce around, obviously, just pull a million different things away from this, whether it's, and listen, I'm not getting on the radio talking about commercials, but that as soon as the Sopranos theme went on, I said, shh. I told the entire, shh, everybody be quiet.
I missed that one.
Woke up this morning.
See, now I'm going to go back and watch it. I missed it.
Jamie looks great. She's battling MS, which is, she revealed somewhat recently, but That was a cool commercial. The other ones I don't really care about. Some people love them. I'm not here to denigrate commercials. If you're watching the Super Bowl for commercials, great. That's when I go to the bathroom, get myself another beer, maybe go online and see what other bets I got to drop in. But nobody can tell me it was a great game. I mean, it was not a great game. It was a good game. I like the aggressiveness from Zach Taylor in the first series, but boy, that's an aggressive go.
Yep.
It didn't work out for him, so you could say. But listen, I think that's the kind of thing where, Tiki, and you could certainly talk about this more than me. I think this is the kind of thing where Zach Taylor all week said, guys, no matter what the situation is, we are going for it. Don't even think about,
that's right.
Am I going to say offense, stay on the field?
Yeah.
We're going for it. And you know what? As a fan, I guess you prefer that than somebody coaching scared.
Yeah.
No doubt.
The only problem is the Rams turned that non-conversion right around into the touchdown.
I hear you, but they did respond. Why Samaje Perine is getting fed the rock at the end of the game is beyond me. And you and I were talking about this, and we don't completely agree because you showed me the All-22 film. And I saw it as well. You got to lay out for that football, man. Now, I know that Burrow's getting spun around, and he throws it with his left hand, and it's a knuckleball, and Perine probably didn't really see it coming, but the ball landed 2 feet from him. He was moving in the direction of the ball. You have to lay out. Yeah. That's like Cam Newton not jumping on that fumble a couple of years ago. I mean, come on, it's the Super Bowl.
I think that Perine wasn't aware of how it was going to come at him, and he wasn't thinking about it. Like, he wasn't thinking about saving his quarterback. You know what I mean? So like, you got to be in those situations multiple times when your quarterback's in duress, and it's on you to save him.
Then why is he in the game?
You're the only option. I have no idea. Because he's not that important of a contributor to the team, but he is their third down back. That's why he was in the game. I think I would have trusted Joe Mixon.
And I know it's easy to sit here and say inside of a nice, cozy radio studio, lay out. But you're a pro athlete, man. Yeah. Your body is used. And it's not like, listen, if he was going this way and the ball was the other way, that's a tough thing to process with the left hand, with the end over end knuckleball. I get it. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's a horrendous optic. I mean, the game ends on the ball with the ball banging off the turf 2 feet from you. You got to get dirty. All right, let's get some calls. See what you think about the game. 877-337-6666. First up, Richie, Queens on the Fan, Tiki and Tierney. Rich.
Hey, guys, I agree with you. BT, not a great game. As far as getting back there again, the way free agency is now, I thought it was really slow after that touchdown. I think, in the second half, I'm thinking, you know what? We're going to have a real slam bang game. But, I ref for a lot of years. I did semi-pro reffing. And the last thing I wanted to do in big games is become a factor.
Yep.
Not that you want to sit on your whistle. But I at that point, when that first one was called, and I said, you know what, God, I can't remember the last time there was a penalty in this game.
That's right.
Call it at that point, that was big. Obviously, the offsetting penalties, the holding, and then and the one in the end zone against Kupp with the targeting or whatever they called.
Yeah, they called
that.
It.
Obviously, was big because that would have made it, first or second and 20. So yeah, it was. It wasn't. A game down to the last few minutes. I agree.
Yeah.
You got to dive for that particular ball, but I just thought that Stafford, the two guys that I said initially that had pressure, were Rodgers. I thought he came up some more. I didn't think he got enough grief, really. And the other one was Stafford.
Yeah.
Stafford came up. He made that drive. Kupp is a complete great football player.
He's fantastic. Cooper Kupp is unbelievable. No, you're right.
Yeah,
Look, at the end of the day, you don't want it to come down to penalties. But the second half kind of was started with the penalty.
It was an ugly second half.
The lack of that of a flag on the touchdown right after halftime, where Jalen Ramsey gets his face mask and pulled to the ground, and there's no flag on that.
Not even close.
And it's not like it was in traffic and there was, I don't know, a blocked view. Like the back judge, the side judge had clear views of that penalty, and Jalen Ramsey gets up basically like, all right, there's got to be a flag here. I just got pulled to the ground by my face mask, and T. Higgins goes and scores a 75-yard touchdown. There's got to be a flag. The fact that there was no flag there was troubling.
Maybe
to be honest with you.
I
was like,
I don't know how the hell you missed that.
You can't miss that one.
I agree. That was egregious. And maybe the back and the side judge had I don't know, a little contact tie. Maybe they were near Snoop before Snoop was blazing up before his performance. You see him hitting the bone?
Maybe.
He's like, yeah, athletes drink water, Gatorade. This guy's blazing up. I mean, it is amazing how he functions at the level that he does high.
So it's interesting because like most halftime shows, because, right after the first half ends, like, the halftime show is coming. Most halftime shows, the talent is hidden somewhere. Like, you just never see them.
Yeah.
They just kind of pop up underneath the stage or whatever it is. Snoop just walking out on the field.
Yeah.
He's just, like, chilling.
He's in his locker room. He's banging the bone.
That's right.
877-337-6666. Let's go to Brooklyn. Stewart's on the fan. Tiki and Tierney. Stu, what's going on, Stu?
Hey, what's going on, Brandon and Tiki?
What's up, Stu?
It was a magical season for the Bengals. I feel for Lou and the defense. They played their hearts out. I mean, how many times did the Rams start between the 40-yard line and midfield? The offense constantly put them in horrific spots, yet they kept getting the Rams to falter. 2 takeaways and only 3 points to score off them. I thought the Bengals threw the game on the 4th down. They seen Kupp go in motion to the left, shift 2 people over for him, and then only cover him at man coverage instead of the double on the 4th down play. But I also wanted to say is if the Rams manage to bring their star players back next season, they're definitely winning one more, especially with the lack of competition.
Stu, come on. What do you mean definitely? This isn't the NBA where you show up with 3 superstars and you're predetermined to win. It's the NFL, man.
Yeah.
One blown Achilles, one, ripped knee, one, wrong pectoral muscle ripped in half like Donald. You just don't win. McVay not coming back. Listen, I mean, and you can speak to this. When you get to this, I know you guys didn't win that game against the Ravens, but, I mean, the battle uphill, I mean, when you start showing up for OTAs to get there again, it's got to feel like
it's hard.
Mount Everest.
It's hard. I mean, this is what the Bengals are going to deal with this year. Or the end of this going into next year is – man, everything went right for us.
But I think the Rams will too, because look at the Bucs last year
true,
to this year.
True, but the Bucs battled a ton of injury. You're right, because all the things you're talking about, everything that could have gone wrong for the Buccaneers went wrong for the Buccaneers. They got guys hurt early. They Tom Brady is now retiring, and Gronk's probably not coming back.
By the way, I'm not convinced Brady's retiring.
That's just the weird.
I'm not convinced, man.
It's weird, like
that's
messaging
quarterback
around
for the 49ers, Tom Brady.
But you know what I mean. So it just got it got hard for them this past season. It's like they were fighting uphill, even though they were the better team on paper. They were fighting uphill the whole season, and they fell short. The Buccaneers did. The Rams might find that as well. It's hard to repeat, man. It's just hard to be the same team the next season. It's hard, especially in a free agency, driven league where both of these teams are going to have major free agent decisions to make. So guys you depended on aren't going to be there next year.
Mm-hmm. And then you factor in Josh Allen's not going anywhere. Now we'll see what the Bills' offense is without Dable.
Yeah.
And certainly Giant fans will. Hope that it's, as a Jet fan, I hope it's not the same, but as a Giant fan, you hope that he brings to the Giants what he had in Buffalo. But you got Josh Allen, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got Herbert with the Chargers, you've got the Patriots as a great franchise. Even if you don't believe fully in Mac Jones, they're still the Pats. I mean, you got a tough road.
Yeah.
And it's not like they were 15-2 this year. The Bengals were 10-7?
Yeah.
And if they played maybe a better team, a more well-rounded team in the wild card matchup rather than the Raiders, maybe the Bengals get bumped in round 1.
That's right.
No guarantees they're getting back.
Or if it's a better number 1 seed,
true.
the Tennessee Titans in the divisional round.
You're right.
Or a Kansas City Chiefs squad that doesn't implode in the second half. They had a very fortuitous route.
They did. And they kicked the door in, at least in terms of getting here. But, they got some good bounces along the way. No doubt, Teak. 877-337-6666. So now we start the slow crawl, hopefully, back to respectability for our boys here in New York City, the Jets and the Giants. We'll obviously incorporate some of that stuff a little later in the show, but this is about the Super Bowl. It's, it's the kind of show where we just bang in the calls, which we do anyway, but, your takeaway, I think it was a good game, nothing special, nothing iconic. I won't be sitting here in 20 years saying, wow, remember that Super Bowl? It was okay. There was a lot of extended dry bouts or extended malaises within the game, but hats off to the champions, and we just keep going. 877-337-6666. Tiki and Tierney up until 2 on the Fan. Bye.